Prime time, as we told you, we are receiving an entrepreneur and community builder, one who has surmounted enormous challenges, but he has decided that he is not going to give up now or in the future. And he has a dream of creating a community for winners, one that of course will impact Africa and push Cameroon and Africa in general towards a positive direction. I'm being joined here by John ETTA, who is an entrepreneur and community leader. And we shall be talking on the theme Youth and Community Building, the Power of Change. John ETTA, thank you very much for talking to us.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you for inviting me, Peter.
Exactly, the pleasure is shared. I invited you because you have an amazing story that can inspire the youths. We are living at a time when most youths say they are frustrated. Government is not attending to their demands like they said. The economy also is not doing as they would have loved. But you have kept the foot on that acceleration pedal despite the challenges. Let's begin from your early start. Many people knew you 10, 15 years back as an artist. And today you are a voice for the youth, a voice for change, a voice for entrepreneurship. How did that transition occur?
Well, thanks for that question. It's a very, very sensitive question. It seems you know the story very well. It all stemmed from the fact that music alone could not fulfill my purpose. So music is my passion, still till now. But I discovered that it was not enough at a certain point in time. And even when I was an artist, I used to be an artist entrepreneur. An artist that organized so many concerts for other people. Before 2012, I remember I'd already organized more than 100 concerts for different artists. So I was the kind of artist that understood the business as well. That's why I could also, foresee those who are going to be big. The young artists who were coming up, I could start investing in them as early as that. So when the time came when, I had to receive the calling of entrepreneurship, it started as a frustration where I could no longer take care of myself. The income that was coming was not able to take care of my family. So I was very frustrated. My landlord kicked me out of the house. And I went back to my father's house. I started thinking, so what's next from here? Let me get into entrepreneurship. One of my mentors advised me that the intelligence I'm putting into music, if I use it in entrepreneurship, then it's going to be a different story. So I got into it 6 years now, and we're here.
Now, your story is very peculiar because so many youths are caught up with passion and then doing what they can make a living from. You started with music, which of course is your first love, and then you switched now to entrepreneurship, what puts food on your table. How did you deal with that mentally? It's not easy to break away from that, is it?
No, it's not. It's not at all. That's why for 4 years, when I got into entrepreneurship, I was hiding. All the businesses I was doing, I was not feeling comfortable to show that, I'm the one running this business. And that is where I had the greatest challenge because it was not working. Because I still, wish that, when I get big into entrepreneurship and make the money, I should go back as an artist. But then, business is very difficult if you don't show your face. If you don't take the exposure, and if you don't, become an embodiment and the reflection of what you are trying to sell. And sell people, because people don't buy the business, they buy you. So you have to be someone of credibility and stuff like that. So for 4 years, I was struggling with that. 2021, I said, no. Enough is enough. The coronavirus taught me a very great lesson that life, is not promised. We don't know if we're going to still be here tomorrow. So why don't you just dive into it? Why don't you just jump fearlessly into the unknown? And that's how I showcased myself as an entrepreneur in 2021 by launching the book that How We Made It in Africa.
How We Made It in Africa.
Then started building the community. If I didn't come out, with full confidence, and saying, okay, henceforth I'm an entrepreneur full time, it would not have worked. I tried it like twice, it didn't work. So what you're saying is very important. It's not really easy to transition. But what I would advise any young artist who wants to move, please just embrace it at once. As a matter of fact, even now that you're still an active artist performing here and there, Because in the showbiz world, there's a lot of fake,
sure.
you know, we fake a lot.
Yeah, they will
You know,
tell you fake it, you make it.
For example, as I was coming, my car got bad. I had to switch, took a taxi. When you call me, are you driving or in a taxi? I said, I'm in a taxi.
Yeah.
You know, but if it were the showbiz time, I would have said, you know, I'm driving. You get the point? Things like that. In the entrepreneurship world, you don't fake it. Your car is bad, it's bad. Push the thing and move, because I have a rendezvous right now. I can't stay to be fixing a car when you're waiting for me on TV. So you just have to be real.
Yeah.
What am I impressing? I didn't see a taxi, I would have taken a bike. I'm on suit, but it doesn't matter, you know. The purpose first, I've dealt with all that, you know, fakeness. I've learned to be real. I don't want to be a celebrity anymore. You know, a few days ago, I was going to the house and I saw one woman selling corn and plum. I took my chair, sat beside her, and we're eating the corn and plum. Now, she didn't know that was a billionaire discussing with her like that, you know. I don't care.
Yeah.
People were passing and seeing me, some were greeting me, you know. I was discussing with her, you know, trying to get her humanity, asking her, okay, this business, where do you buy? How much do you make a day? We had like 45 minutes chat before I moved to the house.
All right. You are into entrepreneurship for the past 6 years.
Yes.
You come from the Southwest region, which is one of the regions affected by the socio-political tensions, which has been of a major stumbling block to entrepreneurs. And just when you're trying to rear your head, the coronavirus comes in.
Yeah.
How did you approach these two crises to surmount them?
By the way, the Anglophone crisis is what got my music into trouble, because the guys who were investing in me, you know, were part of the movement, the struggle. So, and my last video that was played all over, you know, I even came into your first station.
Yeah.
It wasn't Dash Media at the time.
Spectrum.
Yes, no, the radio and TV.
Media Freak.
Media Freak, yes.
Media Freak.
You know, I was promoting Jump Down the Way, for example. I was on Trace everywhere. I was wearing the Cameroonian flag in the video. It's on YouTube as my dressing, you know. So that dressing was brought to me by Wax Day from South Africa. It's a Cameroonian flag, you know. Yeah. So that got me into so much trouble. People were starting to say, okay, choose your cam. You are a black leg, this and that, you know. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
You guys are dragging me into this. So that got me very depressed and frustrated. That's why my music actually cold from there. Then, you know, we moved. The coronavirus also came. But what I will say is that those two tragic situations even gave me the drive.
Yeah.
Because the role of an entrepreneur is to find solutions to problems. And if you ask me where the greatest amount of problems are in the world right now, I will tell you it's Cameroon. So why should I be in America if I'm an entrepreneur? Then where the greatest problems are in Cameroon.
In Cameroon to resolve.
And you know, behind every problem is a billion-dollar opportunity. So it wouldn't make sense for me to be in any part of the world than Cameroon, let's say Africa. Because this is where we have the highest amount of problems.
Yeah.
So whoever is going to find solutions to these problems is going to be the next billionaire. Money is made from problems.
Yeah.
If you can just find solutions to those problems and find a way to monetize them through innovation, entrepreneurship, technology, and so on. So,
all right, you created this community of movers and shakers. They are very young but determined to surmount the odds, known as the VIP community. How did it come about? Okay,
I didn't create it. I wouldn't want to use the word me. Because it wasn't the work of one person. Yes, I'm the project initiator. Yeah. I'm the founder, but there were other co-founders like Nebapaul Azinwi. There was B. Laurentine, there's B. Petula, Davin, Chris Kofon. You know, it was a group work, group initiative. One person cannot create a community.
Sure.
And we're talking about 1,000 young, vibrant Cameroonians. I couldn't have mobilized them by myself, so it was a group work. But I could say my music experience helped me, because with music you learn how to market things, you learn how to package, you learn how to communicate, you learn how to persuade and convince. You learn also how to manage people. You know, like I told you, before 2012, I'd organized more than 100 concerts with Petit Pays and Midiko. All of that gave me, you know, some experience.
Yeah.
So that's what I used. All of that baggage that I got in the music industry, I had to bring it into entrepreneurship. This time around, coming out, they started calling me Star Daddy, you know. And with the book, the good thing was that in Cameroon, young people are very hungry, and Cameroon is in dire need of coordinators and initiators.
Yeah.
Dire need. A lot of the youths from the English part of Cameroon were living in despair, hopelessness. So it was very welcoming. It was a new hope for them. And we did all of this through social media, you will not believe. And just one platform, social media platform, Facebook. I'm not big on Twitter, but on Facebook, you know now, you guys don't rest.
Sure.
So it's on Facebook that we launched the campaign. And thank God, it was mind-blowing. It exploded. You saw the crowds that we are pulling every week, every blessed week. That shows that the young people of this country are very, very, very ambitious. They're very serious, they're very hardworking. You will not know until you invite them to the table, until you give them a chance, and until you show them the right direction. So I want to say it was thanks to the amazing team that surrounded me that were able to pull this.
Now, entrepreneurs will tell you one of their biggest problems is finance.
Yes.
How do you go about this in an economic system that is so tight and which most of the time the government does not really come when you call at that point in time?
Peter, I must say you are a very good interviewer. You ask very intelligent questions, like we planned this. That question is very key because I see a lot of entrepreneurs say, oh, I have this good business, this good project, but what I'm lacking is finance. Looking for finance is part of entrepreneurship. Guess what? For all this while, we have never received a grant from anywhere or a support or a donation from anywhere. Yeah. But we've gone ahead to create our own credit union, Jangi Cooperative Credit Union, where us, the 1,000 VIP winners, we save our money. Then we created businesses. The VIP winners created businesses. And they come to this credit union and get loans to grow these businesses.
Some sort of Israeli model.
Exactly. You know, the book that I read, a friend of mine, Nebapola, gave me a book called Startup Nation. And they spoke about how the Israelites, emerged. All the principles. When I read that book, I was very inspired. I realized that the community-based approach to world creation is the best, model, and that's what we implemented, and it's working till date. So we don't need money from anyone. Till now, everything we do, we do it from within. Like one of our projects that we're doing, we do group buying for land, real estate. We're buying a land of 30 million francs at Dobo. We're almost completing right now. And it just came from 30 VIP winners who just put in 1 million francs. See how easy it is. If you ask one person to buy that land, it will take that person like forever. Yeah. So the community-based approach is what we use, and we started bootstrapping, and we could self-finance the projects that we're doing. Now we're becoming credible. If we want to scale, that's when we can now go tap into other financial institutions that this is what we've done. It's working. These are the difficulties we're facing. If you invest in us, if you give us more capital, we're going to scale this and you're going to make profit. And we're doing it from a place of credibility and experience. We have prototypes, we have proof of concept that we can show. We have our documentation ready, the structure, processes, and systems are in place. So we're becoming credible. So any entrepreneur will say the lack of capital is what is stopping you from not, engaging your entrepreneurial activities, then you are missing the point. Because looking for capital is part of entrepreneurship.
Now, how timely is this community approach to wealth creation? How timely is it for Cameroon at this point in time?
It's very, very timely, but that does not mean that the powers that be and the various institutions that should support entrepreneurs should sleep and allow entrepreneurs to struggle by themselves. This was a unique situation. But, like I said, the community-based approach is an African indigenous economic principle. We always hear of Karl Marx, right? Yeah. Read of Karl Marx. It's cool. Communism, all of that. Yeah. We hear of capitalism. Many American and British, writers, economists, they write their theories. But we never go down to look at what the African indigenous economic principles and innovations can do into building wealth. I would tell you we have the best in Africa. For example, the Jangi system, where a group of people will come in the village and decide to go and work one person's farm, like women, for example.
Yes.
And they work one person's farm. While they're working, they're singing, they're dancing, and they're working that farm. So before you know, the farm is finished. In a spirit of joy. Nobody even felt like they worked. Yeah. The next day, they go to a different woman's farm. Next day, they go to the other. And that's how you see the villages prospering. That's what we had in the villages, and we're fine. But as soon as, we started accepting foreign education, Western education, for example, we forgot what made us strong as a people. The communal and community-based principle, got lost. They put us in classrooms where we started competing, against each other.
Yeah.
Where they say, hide your work from your friend, hide your work, and we grow for 20-something years in school, coming out looking so individualistic in our minds,
yes.
egocentric. We need to change that, and that's what we are bringing about with what we are trying to demonstrate with the VIP Winners community. It's an example for the rest of the Cameroonian people or African people to follow. We are not the only ones. The Bamileke people, right, the ethnic group, the Bamileke people, have been doing this for so many years.
From the West region.
From the West region of Cameroon.
And even the Igbos in Nigeria.
People in Nigeria have been doing this. But just like they're doing within themselves and they speak in the dialect. So some of us who are maybe from the Southwest and so on, we don't really know about it until we go and learn and do a lot of research and so on. I read sociology and anthropology in the university, and that's what even got me interested in studying these, different cultures and all the likes. So if you can just go back to our African roots and pick what used to work for us, our parents. Remember the wealthiest man ever used to be an African.
Yeah.
Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa.
So the idea, the skill, the intelligence, and the innovation to create wealth is African made. So the community-based approach is what Africans have been using. We need to go back and start using it. We don't need to separate ourselves because one person can never achieve anything great. Like I say in Pidgin, one hand, not a tie bundle.
Of course.
Yeah.
I would like you to highlight on sales because I've watched some of your videos. You have always tried to educate youths, particularly budding entrepreneurs, on the importance of sales. How critical is it for an entrepreneur? Okay,
I will start like the greatest nation in the world. They make us to see. If I should ask you, tell me the greatest nation in the world right now. Sincerely. What's the greatest nation in the world?
Well, right in terms of
what we know.
Well, I would say the US because for decades.
Yeah, it's been them. They've been leading.
Yeah,
but what they have done is that they have sold themselves to us.
Yeah.
And they've made us think that, I say a lot of Cameroonians, it's like, if you don't go to the US, you have not arrived. It's like when you go to the US, you have gone to heaven. But when you go to the US, you see that people are hungry, there are homeless people. There are more homeless people in California than we have in the whole of Cameroon. One state. Okay, I would say California is very populated than the whole of Africa maybe. You have more than 125,000 homeless people. The last time I checked, that was a few years ago. And it keeps growing. But they don't show that part of their nation, which means they have learned how to sell. Now, in a movie where you have an American acting, everybody will die in that movie except the American.
Yes.
That's how they sell themselves.
Sure.
So in Africa, we have not understood how to sell ourselves, sell our businesses and sell our services, sell our talents, sell our skills. If we just start selling very well, and that's, one thing that the school system does, and I've come to realize why the school system does not teach sales in school. Because to be a salesperson, you must know your left from your right. You must get into personal development. Yeah. Because you have to understand these three things. You have to be hungry, coachable, and willing. So hunger is something that cannot be taught. It can be caught. You're either hungry or you're not. For example, if I tell you right now that quit is your job, let me give you, let me show you a business that is very risky, but you'll not be having a salary at the moment. You'll be having a commission. If you work hard, you'll be paid based on what as you perform. Yeah. You'll be like, man, you want to take me to Yeah. So, but if you want to grow, you have to learn how to sell. Sales is the most fundamental skill any individual, it's not only for business people, should have. For example, if you know how to sell this enterprise, this TV station, to companies in Cameroon, your boss will raise your salary. True or false?
Sure.
So the only way you can be more relevant here is to learn how to sell, man. So sales is the most fundamental skill. That's why on Saturday and Sunday at the VIP Winner Secretariat, we'll be doing the VIP Salesforce Masterclass, where I'll be teaching people and business owners and business teams the fundamentals of sales, how to persuade, how to convince, how to negotiate, how to package and brand, how to be sold into your vision. Because a lot of people, to create a business is one thing. Yeah. But there's something that shows that you yourself you don't believe in this business that you have created if you don't talk about it every day. And a lot of people think that to sell, you have to be reasonable, you have to be organized, you have to put on a suit like Peter. Hell no. To sell, you have to be unreasonable. The greatest salespeople are unreasonable. You see the way I write online, right?
Sure.
Is it normal?
No. Radical thinking.
Yes.
The thinking that is very disruptive, that does not align with what the normal youth want to expect.
And I post about 30 times a day. Yeah. That too is not normal. You know, that too is not ordinary. Some people spend like 1 week and they post once. They're being mature broke people. No, I post a lot. And it gives me the opportunity to reach out to many people, and I sell to many people, and I make my money.
In communication,
yes,
that's the magic bullet theory.
Yes, you know, the repetition.
Yes, sure.
Because it takes at least 12 no's for you to receive a yes.
Yes.
Many times I've, been able to convert people from, oh, I'm not interested in this, oh, I don't like this, to how can I buy? Please reserve my spot. Mm-hmm. How did this person move from, I'm not interested in this, to please reserve my spot until you're having the fear of missing out.
Persuasion of
yes.
course. Yeah.
And it has to do with carefully curating what benefits the individual. You get? I see a lot of people, they come online or on TV, they're talking about their products. Like one of my collaborators, he wanted to curate a video for advert to come and put on TV, on Dash Media. And he gave me the script. I read through it. I said, man, you are talking about your product. How your product is nice. How your product. You are not talking how it's going to benefit the individual.
The individual.
Yeah. People are greedy. That's how a human being is. We are self-centered. We care more about ourselves than your business. No matter how beautiful your business is, the specifications it got, if it's not serving me, I will not buy. That's just the simple truth. It has to benefit me, the individual. I'm buying because of my interests. You get the point? For example, I'm invited here. I'm coming here because Dash Media benefits me. Even when my car wanted to give me trouble, I had to skip out of it and move. Today I'm here. So one thing about sales that people need to understand is that if you don't sell, you will not make money. If you don't sell, you need to learn how to sell. Every business relies on sales. Without sales, sales like the oxygen of your business.
All right. Now, I would like us to, before we go, let's look at another critical aspect of entrepreneurship, loans. Because it's one issue which many entrepreneurs dread. They fear it, getting into loans. And I was watching you one day, you said that you cannot get rich until you embrace loans. How true is that?
Okay. You heard me say I'm a billionaire, right?
Sure.
Okay. Me being a billionaire does not mean I have 1 billion in the bank. And if I have 1 billion in the bank, then I'm very stupid. I'm not a billionaire. Okay. Being a billionaire is someone that the bank will trust to give 1 billion. Yes. It's someone who has a loan of 1 billion. It's not someone who has 1 billion. What are you doing with 1 billion? In fact, if you have 1 billion in the bank now, and the police know, they'll start investigating you.
Sure.
Maybe you're a criminal. What are you doing with 1 billion in the bank? It doesn't make sense, economic sense. So a billionaire is someone who has built the credibility to the point that banks are calling you to give you a loan. So the reason why I think I'm a billionaire is because I'm getting to that point that banks are interested in giving me billions as loan. That makes me a billionaire. Now I can be working, I don't have 100 francs with me. But I'm a billionaire. And that's what Africans have not understood. So coming to your question, without a loan, you cannot be rich. For example, even if you earn, the average salary in Cameroon is how much? A good one for a middle class, how much?
Let's say 500,000.
Okay, 500,000. Yeah. If you earn 500,000 francs, I can give you 20 years before you save 2 million, my brother. And hold it cash like this, it will be difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult. So how then can you grow if your salary is 500,000 francs? Simple. Every month, make sure you remove like 150,000 francs from your salary, right? And keep. Every day you go to a financial institution and drop 5,000. Every day you have your break. Let me just advise you, for example, right? Yeah. Your break time is not to go and eat. It's to go to a financial institution and drop 5,000. Don't tell them that you are working at Dash Media. Yeah. Tell them that you have your business that you are running. Every day you are dropping 5,000. Give 6 months, the bank manager will call you. Dabo, we've seen that you are very regular. It seems like that your business is working, and you say yes, my business is working. That's why I'm able to save. Okay.
And I'd like to scale it up.
Yes, tell us about the business because we want to help you with a loan. You see, like I say, well, I don't really need a loan now. Let my first consignment get finished, then I'll come and take a loan in 3 months. Let me go and think. They're begging you now to give you a loan of 5 million or 10 million. Now, when you go in 9 months' time, take the loan of 10 million, go to a new layout where land is still cheap, maybe 5 million francs. Buy 2 plots of land, 500 meters square. Come back and be working. Still be paying that 5,000. You have a lot of time, to be paying back the loan. 5,000. Before you know, that land must have appreciated. Give it 6 months. You can sell that land for 15 million or 20 million. You take all the 20 million, you go to the bank, right? Yeah. Don't put all the 20 million at once. Start putting now 100,000. By the time that 20 million finishes, right? Come back to that bank. Ask them for 50 million, they'll give you.
And they'll give you, yeah.
Are you not becoming rich?
Of course.
So you could not get rich without the loan.
Yeah.
So every wealthy person you see is a debtor. Show me any billionaire in Cameroon. I'll show you someone who is deep in debt. Now, you should build yourself to a level that even if you have a debt of, for example, I'm looking for a debt of 10 billion. I'm asking banks to borrow me 10 billion. I have a very good project for 10 billion. The day they'll give me that money, my wife is afraid that, see you want to take 10 billion, you want to kill us here? I say, no. I told her that I'll be sleeping be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be sleeping like a baby. Yeah. Nothing is going to disturb me because I've built myself to that level. So, because I started gradually. I started taking loans of 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 50 million, 100 million. Now I think I can go for 10 billion. You get?
Yeah.
And I'll be sleeping like a baby and nobody will bully me. Because Cameroon is looking for people like us who know how to use money and multiply money.
And of course the community is there.
And the community is there.
Sure.
So, like, the reason why I'm so confident in getting even the 10 billion is because we'll bring the money and invest it in the community. It's backed by the community. If it's just me alone, I'll not be able to take 10 billion. Yeah. But since we have a community of 1,000 people, I'll take a 10 billion. We're going to do projects as a community. Maybe you know what I'm going to do with the money.
Well, I don't.
Okay, simple.
Sure.
I'm going to give a loan of 10 million francs to each of the 1,000 VIP winners. 10 million francs each. 10 million times 1,000 is 10 billion,
10
right?
Billion, yeah.
Good. And I tell them, okay, let's buy a piece of land and develop a gated community.
Into real estate.
Into real estate, yeah. Invested in real estate, but not any kind of real estate.
Yeah.
The innovative real estate, like it's been done in other parts of the world, even Nigeria. Even I was in Kigali and I saw that doing that, there's what they call in Kigali Vision City. We should be able to do that in Cameroon. Why is there no gated community in Cameroon? Even one, with all the money we have in this country, Cameroon is about 10 times bigger than Rwanda in terms of everything. Only organization. They beat us only in terms of organization and leadership.
All right, okay. Before we go, time is really against us. Just a last word for the youth in general and entrepreneurs in particular. Maybe that entrepreneur that's about losing hope and seeing himself going down the drain. What message do you have for him before we go? Yeah.
I will start by saying the person talking to you right now is someone who's been homeless in Douala. When the crisis escalated, I landed in Douala with my daughter, Otang, the artist, and we didn't have a place to sleep that night. So I've been able to, brace all of that. Today I have extra rooms in my house, and that's because I believed, number one, in God. I believe in working as a group with people. That's number two. And the third thing that changed everything for me is the ability to learn, to read. Read. Everything we need in life is in books. Don't go and be reading novels and so on, fiction, books. Go and read self-help books. Books like Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. As a man thinketh, the books are just so many. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Sell like crazy. Sell or be sold. All these books, read them. And there's a special way I teach, my mentees how to read. Read one book at least 100 times. Don't read a book once and you say you have read it. If you just read, your life will be transformed. Before you know it, you also become a billionaire.
All right. Thank you very much, John ETTA. It was a pleasure having you. We know the time rushes and so on. Yeah. Of course, we shall have you some other time. Okay. And it's on that note of optimism to build a better community that we'll call it quit on this edition of the Prime Time on Dash News, the Voice of Africa. Keep watching us From the team here in Douala, goodbye and good night.